Coming up next on Tech Now, a job fair with robotics. If you want to work towards the future, do you want a car wash that comes to you? Yes, there's an app for that. We'll show you a giant retail chain using technology to change its makeup and head north, way north, for an out-of-this-world video session. From the Tech Museum of Innovation in the heart of Silicon Valley, I'm Scott Budman. This is Tech Now. Thanks for watching. We begin with an out-of-this-world use of a piece of Silicon Valley technology, sending a tiny camera into space to record inside the northern lights. Check it out.
Straight down our right side is the Talkeetna River.
It's a trip to a remote glacier in Alaska by plane and by sled dog to conduct science experiments with the help of Bay Area technology, specifically this, the GoPro camera, with the goal of shooting the northern lights.
Our team, had some engineering problems, engineering challenges, fighting the cold every bit of the way, losing feeling in our toes and fingers, but those went up without a problem, so we were really beautiful. Woo!
Going up thanks to balloons, taking the specially mounted cameras up 100,000 feet to the edge of space and into the Aurora Borealis. Just another day at the office for the little camera, famous for going where few cameras have gone before.
But what we started finding when we started listening and watching people take our camera and play with it is that they love it for so many different things. And it's an amazing thing to see what happens when you put a tiny professional quality camera in the hands of somebody and say, go do what you love.
And they were able to see the light, bringing with them science teachers who can now take the cameras and the knowledge back to their classrooms.
I'll hook them up when we're doing physics experiments, especially. We do a lot of crashes and, marble launches, and I'll set the camera up and we'll actually watch it go up and down, and rather than have to calculate velocity with our eyes, we can actually do the slow-mo on the camera and calculate it a lot more accurately. So, and the kids are really jazzed about using the cameras because it's really hot technology for them.
Back here on flat ground, we found an entire block party devoted to robots. It was put on by Stanford, and it might get you your next job.
Some of the robots we saw can dance. Others respond to your touch and to the movements of your body.
He started as a research robot used in autism therapy settings, where the cameras in the eyes and the microphone in the nose allow a therapist in another room to interact with children in a playroom through a simpler body.
But whether they're small or big, they all serve a purpose here at Stanford's 3rd annual Robot Block Party, a chance to gawk and glimpse into the future.
Using the joystick, they can press the buttons and then watch their program in action.
Like a video game.
Like a video game, except they're actually doing the coding, and then they can actually see the lines of code.
Yes, this being Stanford, there is a larger purpose here. The robots will follow you around, but the companies represented hope students will follow them to their next career.
And like any other new industry that's growing fast, it's going to need people to be working in. They're actually really great jobs, everything from marketing to engineers, software programmers.
So if you're looking for a job with a lot of reach, you might have a ball with robotics.
Speaking of using technology to find a job, we found a beefed-up app for your iPad from LinkedIn. The newest way to network yourself to a new career from a Silicon Valley company that's growing while our economy is stumbling.
What's the top news that's impacting my industry?
LinkedIn's head of mobile, Joff Redfern, sat down to give us a tour of the newest app to help you find a job. It's LinkedIn's iPad debut, and it's all about networking, getting to know the people who will boost your chances of getting work.
So it is that networking activity that connecting with friends, connecting with colleagues, that helps people find new jobs, new opportunities that are out there.
LinkedIn's mobile team is, along with the rest of the company, expanding quickly. As our country's job numbers fizzle, LinkedIn's stock price soars, with more people using the company's tools to get connected. Already on desktops, laptops, Android, and iPhones, LinkedIn says its app update is aimed at people who lean back when they network.
there's this huge spike in usage 2 times during the day, once early in the morning and then once later in the evening, right around primetime TV between 7 and 11. So you can imagine people with their iPads multitasking.
LinkedIn describes it as learning 10 years worth of information about someone in 10 seconds. A way to make that next face-to-face contact more likely to lead to a job that might be just a touch away.
LinkedIn is growing so quickly, the Mountain View company just leased close to 165,000 square feet of space in Sunnyvale to expand its Silicon Valley presence. Now, makeup with a big dose of technology. A huge makeup seller embracing tech in a way that few retail giants have, making it easier, faster, and more social to get made up.
It actually mimics skin better than powder.
Getting your makeup done in a Sephora store? Well, that's been done since there's been Sephora stores.
What do you think?
Recording your makeup session on an iPad? That's new.
It's such a great engagement tool.
Part of a digital makeover at Sephora, led by Marcy Zelmar, the company's vice president of digital commerce.
A tool that bridges the shopping experience both online and in-store and really change now how you shop in the store.
If you've ever shopped in an Apple store, you'll appreciate the ability to scan and buy with a mobile device. And how about this? An iPad that shows you a movie about applying your makeup on half the screen while you actually apply it on the other mirrored half. Not to mention social tools that let you compare your look with other shoppers.
We have it so you can actually filter to say, is it someone like me in my age group, or do they have skin tone like mine? And so you can actually then look at the ratings and reviews and find the ones that are applicable to you when you're shopping in the store.
The company wants technology to make it easier to find what you're looking for. And, let's be honest, the faster you can buy products, the faster new shoppers can come in and shop. Last year, mobile shopping jumped 300% at Sephora. This year, they expect another 100% rise. Clearly, a brick-and-mortar store that's going mobile.
And so with this ability now that I have all these devices, how do you start bringing it together so no matter where I'm shopping, it's much more seamless?
It's been around more than 40 years.
So today what we did was an everyday eye, so I'm going to click on that.
Now Sephora is getting a new digital makeover, and we're not making that up.
Silicon Valley technology also helping a man drive a car for the first time, even though he can't see. Here's how Google is helping people search in a new way.
Steve Mahan is getting behind the wheel of a car for the first time in 7 years.
Good morning, Steve. Hey, Nathaniel. How are
Steve is 95% blind, but now he's driving with a boost from the Google self-driving car.
It was one of the more exciting things that I've ever done in my whole life.
The CEO of the Santa Clara Valley Blind Center is ready to drive again. No hands needed, just a lot of trust and apparently an appetite for fast food.
You know, I was the one that wanted to go to Taco Bell, and thought, why not? Why not eat in the car even though nobody else gets to?
And he did, while the car was driving.
It was nice. Your hands are not occupied, and you're not having to make all the decisions, the driving decisions. So you can actually concentrate on having a good bite of a taco.
Google has now road tested its self-driving Prius for more than 200,000 miles, gathering data. On this particular ride, it gathered a new fan.
I think it is absolutely an empowering thing. I've received a couple of emails just this morning from blind and vision impaired people in different places that have seen the video, that have never had the hope of being behind the wheel of a car.
New hope from new technology.
Where this would change my life is to give me the independence and the flexibility to go the places I both want to go and need to go when I need to do those things.
No matter what you drive, you'll like this next story. A new kind of fuel made in Silicon Valley on its way to the testing track, thanks to a collaboration between a global auto giant and some algae.
You've seen cars powered by electricity and cars powered by a hybrid gas-battery mix. Well, here's the fuel of the future. It's algae, and it's on its way to your car.
It all starts with the microalgae.
That's Bob Ames of Solazyme, a Silicon Valley company that takes algae and makes fuel. Fuel that's much cleaner than what you use now.
The benefit is really in the fact that there's virtually no sulfur that's emitted from, or that's involved in this fuel, a 77% reduction in life cycle greenhouse gas emissions, and a 96% reduction in particulate matter.
Good news for the environment. The good news for Solazyme? Volkswagen just announced plans to test Solazyme's fuel in its cars.
We don't care if it is an algae or a yeast or something like that.
A good point. Because federal gas mileage requirements are about to go way up, for car makers, cleaner fuel is good business. Hence, VW's Silicon Valley Research Center.
Here is really where technology is made, not only for the internet, but as well for the automotive industries.
The plan is for Solazyme's algae-powered fuel to become part of a cleaner burning diesel.
So when you fill up at a diesel gas station, you'll have renewable content in there, and you may not even know it.
Your future fill-up, brought to you by algae.
Solazyme and Volkswagen will begin testing the algae-powered cars this summer. We've got a request in for one of our own. We'll let you know how they do.
Stay with us. After the break, Tech Now brings the car wash to you thanks to a new app. And go for an electric ride as Fisker plans for the sequel to its Karma.
Welcome back. The tech industry can be fast-paced and demanding, but it can also save you time. Case in point, our app of the week this week, a startup that can find your car and wash it for you.
If you think getting a car wash kind of sucks, a Silicon Valley startup has a better way. Cherry.com wants your car to look good without you having to spend time driving to and waiting for your local car wash.
The big difference, I'd say, is time and convenience.
Now, if you have a smartphone, a clean car can be a swipe away while you work.
We want to use technology and online distribution to really go after and disrupt this the car wash industry, which really hasn't seen innovation in a long time.
An industry worth close to $19 billion. For 30 of your dollars, you get a basic car wash wherever you're parked.
I always have my iPhone with me, so when they said, John's here to wash your car, on my text message, it was like a friend calling me and say, hey, your car's getting washed, you know, no worries.
Cherry joins the trend of conveniences that come to you, from taxi cabs that find you with your phone's GPS to health fans that come to your office. The modern worker is saving time.
The technology allows us to actually let the customers check in and request a car wash with 2 clicks of a button on their iPhone app or Android app. And our technology in real time will immediately find the closest car wash professional and dispatch them to the customer's location.
And with $4.5 million of new funding, Cherry plans to hire and expand. Truly a startup that's cleaning up.
Technology can also put you in the moment, like the 100th of a second. Meet the photographer who took the lightning picture social networked around the world.
It was in focus, the lightning was clean, and so I was really excited.
And with that, Phil McGrew took the shot seen round the world.
It was weird. I got a call from the UK last night at 1 a.m. and they asked if they could put it in a UK publication, and I said, yeah.
An amazing photo taken from his 29th floor San Francisco apartment of the Bay Bridge being struck by lightning.
It's as much luck as anything. I mean, I was kind of at the right place at the right time and had the camera going, but you know, it was just lucky that lightning hit the bridge. I mean, it is a giant metal rod out in the middle of water, so.
The strike, actually predicted by an app called Lightning Finder, almost instantly launched McGrew to social networking fame.
This person shared it.
Shared tens of thousands of times on Facebook and Twitter, the amateur photographer who makes his living trading currencies has spent the day after answering questions.
So I set the camera up to take an infinite number of 20-second shots, and I just let it go for probably 2 hours.
All about a bridge that's rarely the center of attention around here.
It's older, it carries more cars, it gets less recognition. It's the bridge that could. I mean, it's a hard-working, cool bridge. And
enjoying, along with the photographer, their moment in the spotlight, because lightning doesn't strike twice, right?
And if somebody else enjoys the photo, then I'm thrilled to hear that as well.
Meanwhile, they give life to the video games you play on your computer. Soon they could be giving life to patients battling cancer. Here now, a mix of technology and healthcare.
They power your video games. Now they're being used to fight cancer. Graphics processing units, or GPUs, extremely powerful computer graphic cards developed in Silicon Valley, now in clinical trials at Moore's Cancer Center in San Diego, powering a new way to fight cancer.
It changes the way we treat patients. It makes something that what we always want to do in the past possible with the GPUs now.
Today, radiation treatment relies on patient scans that can be several months old, but small changes in the patient's anatomy and the tumor's size reduce the effectiveness of the treatment. The new technique enables the staff to use same-day images. That way they can focus the radiation on the tumor's precise location.
With those tools, we can redesign the treatment, re-optimize the treatment in a couple minutes versus like a couple of hours or even more with the conventional technologies.
So the idea is you can individualize it to the anatomy of the day, changes in the patient, and the hope is this could have a major impact on the quality and delivery of radiotherapy.
It's the kind of performance boost gamers have enjoyed over the years at home, now boosting the chances of survival against a deadly disease in the hospital.
It makes sense. Very few businesses can process images better and faster than the gaming industry. Now those images being used to fight cancer.
There's still more to come on Tech Now. You may be surprised when we tell you where the jobs are.
Electric sports cars are hot and sexy and not just made by Tesla. We've showed you Fisker cars before, and there is another one. Katie Fehrenbacher from GigaOM got a first look at it, so I understand Fisker is actually going to go forward with a second car.
Exactly. So Fisker unveiled the design prototype of its second car, which was being called Project Nina, and now it's being called the Atlantic. And so Fisker had this big event in New York City where it showed off the car, basically to say that yes, we are going to build this car and deliver it to customers.
Now Tesla has done that too, to a lot of excitement, where we'll come out with the design and say, okay, this will be ready in a couple or 3 years. Yeah. Is that basically what Fisker is saying, is there are plans to actually build this?
Right. It didn't really give concrete plans about when it's going to deliver it. It kind of stepped around how much it's going to cost, but it's supposed to be about half of the Karma price, so it's going to be maybe like $45,000 for the Atlantic. But basically it wanted to say, yes, we're going to deliver it. We've raised all this money, because there's these questions about, you know, how are you going to build this car with the finances that you lost the DOE loan. So it's now raised $1 billion in private investment. So it's saying we're going to use that money to build the Atlantic and launch it to customers.
Now we've seen the Karma, and I know you got a chance to see it up close, and it's a great looking car, and it seems to work. We're now starting to see some of them on the road. Your impressions of that, and how Fisker had some problems going forward trying to get to car number 2.
Yes. So I mean, the Karma itself is a gorgeous designed car. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't think anyone would debate that. I think the problems have been in the fact that, you know, it's a new technology. So the Karma has had all sorts of problems in terms of software glitches. You probably saw Consumer Reports bought one of the Karmas and it shut down right after it started testing. And then it's had problems with the batteries that come from A123 Systems, its battery supplier. So it had a recall back in the day, and then only a couple weeks ago it said it's also once again fixing the battery problems with the Karma. So it's shipped about 700 Karmas, so it has to go back and fix all these batteries, and then it's fixing the software as well. So this is a new kind of early technology, so that's coming clear in the reports back from people driving the Karma.
Right, and Tesla was first, and it had some stumbles along the way too. Yeah. I mean, do you look ahead and think that Karma can make it?
I hope that they've fixed all their problems with the Karma, and that they've kind of learned those lessons, and when they launch the Atlantic, they'll have
it'll be more of a commercially ready car. I hope so. I don't know. You never know. I mean, it's a startup company. It was only founded in 2007. You know, we'll just have to see.
All right, we will keep an eye on it. And with you, thank you so much, Katie Fehrenbacher from GigaOM. Stay with us. Tech Now will be right back. Finally this week, we talk a lot about how big companies help our economy, but small businesses are hiring too. Here's a look at how both a strengthening economy and some software are helping your favorite small businesses.
Yeah, oh, good. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
Nothing Bundt Cakes is the kind of place where customers hug the owner.
Hey, were you looking at just frosting the box?
It's a small business, and in a sketchy economy, that can be tough.
One day you could have a line out the door, and the next day you're here for an hour and no one comes in.
But times have been sweet lately for small businesses, at least according to a very big business, Silicon Valley software giant Intuit.
This is really encouraging news.
That's Intuit's director of small business, Heather McClellan. Their survey shows small businesses hiring a lot lately, bringing new jobs to the economy.
So what we're seeing is that people are feeling a little bit more confident to spend their money. So what we're finding is consumers are going into places like bakeries or coffee shops and spending a little bit more than they had in the past. So that's very good news for the small business owner, as that means more money in their pocket.
Thank you for calling Nothing Bundt Cakes, Will Glen.
And with more money comes more ability to hire.
So we have white chocolate.
For bosses used to thinking outside the box.
It's never a dull moment around here. So St. Patrick's Day, I thought, oh, we're not going to have as many as Valentine's. It was just as busy as Valentine's. It was amazing who wants to come in.
Recently, more people have come in here looking for good food and good people. A boost to the Bay Area's bottom line.
Everyone has just that little extra money for that delicious treat.
That's literally icing on the cake.
Intuit says some 65,000 new jobs were added by small businesses last month. And with that, we bring this week's episode of Tech Now to a close. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you back here again next time.